What is the difference between Farmington and Farmington Hills? And which one's better? That's what we call a city fight. If you've got a few minutes, I'm digging into what's different, what's the same, and which one's better? Maybe? Hope that sounds good because we're starting now. If you're new here and new to me, thank you so much for watching. My name is Paul and I make videos about cities and areas all over Metro Detroit, Michigan. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing. And if you want to move to any of these areas, reach out because I'm a full-time real estate guy who's helped hundreds of people buy and sell homes all over the state of Michigan. And I love doing that. So, just Google my name. You'll find me. I'm all over the internet. All right, so Farmington and Farmington Hills, in some ways they're different. In some ways they're the same. Remember that movie Twins with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger? Where they're supposed to be twins but separated at birth?
I have a brother.
If you haven't watched it, I'll break it down. One is the Penguin and the other is the Terminator. And they're twin brothers. So like one's really big, one's not. Kinda like that. Stay tuned to the end of this video because one thing about the two cities really bugs me, like a lot. It really shouldn't, but it does. First off, we have to talk about the size of the two cities. Farmington Hills is over 33 square miles and Farmington is only 2.6. If you were some sort of land wizard, you could smush like 13 Farmingtons into Farmington Hills. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I'm not a land wizard. So if you are, maybe that's your bag. So Farmington Hills gets that one. It's bigger. Next up is the population. Because it's so big, obviously Farmington Hills has way more people in it. Wouldn't make sense to have more people in Farmington unless we had like skyscrapers in Farmington. That'd be crazy. So the Hills has over 81,000 people living there, and Farmington has about 10,000. And Farmington definitely has a small town feel to it, which is pretty cool. So Farmington Hills, they win that one too. More people. Unless you like the small town feel. Next up is cost of living. So the cost of living in Farmington Hills technically is more expensive, but it's mainly because of the houses. The average cost of a house in Farmington Hills was about $263,000, where in the city of Farmington you're looking at about $229, give or take. Aside from your mortgage and rent, the cost of actually living in these two areas is about the same. The tax rate is a little higher in Farmington. Next up are the schools. Both cities are part of the amazing Farmington School District. They have a really low student to teacher ratio, so it's harder for the kids to slip under the radar if they're daydreaming. I would have hated that. I was like the daydreaming doodle king. I had two lazy eyes, so I never looked like I was paying attention, and then when I wasn't paying attention, it was just a mess because I was just drawing pictures and looking sort of everywhere. If you're curious about the school ratings, you should check out School Digger or greatschools.com. There is one area where you will be in the Clarenceville School District, so just pay attention to that. So you can live in one area and be going to a different school district. Ask your real estate agent. You can't go wrong with either city when it comes to schools. Next up, we'll talk about the downtowns. There's no downtown in Farmington Hills. Farmington has a downtown, Farmington Hills does not. But we can still enjoy it from Farmington Hills. You can enjoy it from anywhere. You could live in Livonia. You could live in West Bloomfield. You could still go to downtown Farmington. They would appreciate that. And there's a ton to do there throughout the year. They have all sorts of festivals and parties and things. I highly recommend you check it out. Next up on our list, we'll talk about the library. The Farmington Community Library is shared by both Farmington and Farmington Hills, and it's awesome. They have things like audiobooks. They have like free apps that you can download. You can get audiobooks, movies, and things like that. So if you're not a traditional reader, you can just read other things digitally. You can even check out games for like PlayStation and Xbox and the Wii. Kids love it. Check out a book and you get a game. Bonus. I guess that one's a tie for sure. Next up, we'll talk about the police and fire departments. They have separate ones, but I feel like they should just combine the two. Actually, Farmington has a place that's called the Department of Public Safety, and it's located in downtown Farmington, and it has its fire and police. But if you're looking for a police officer in Farmington, you can just drive down Drake Road and they're hanging out. They're usually hanging out, busting perpetrators, doing 30 and a 25. bad boys, bad boys. I think that Farmington Hills would like to get in on that action. That's how I feel about it. Alright, so next we'll talk about the houses. The city of Farmington is way older than Farmington Hills, and because of that it has older homes, and a lot of the older homes are smaller homes. And they're usually less expensive. We already talked about the prices of homes, or the average price of homes. But if you live in the city of Farmington, you'll probably be within walking distance to downtown Farmington. So whatever, I think that's awesome. The whole city's only a few miles wide. Everything's walking distance from everything. That's my opinion on it. Next, we're gonna talk about the water bill. I know it sounds weird. We're gonna talk about the water bills in the two different cities, but the city of Farmington Hills, you'll have a lower water bill if you live there because of the giant water tower with Live, Love, Farmington Hills. It's only missing the laugh. That's the one thing it's missing. I thought it said Live, Laugh, Love, but it just says Live, Love, Farmington Hills. That water tower saves the residents of Farmington Hills millions of dollars a year on water bills, like not individually, but collectively, because it pulls water from the city of Detroit at night when the rates are lowest and then sort of just gushes it out to everyone during the day when we're using it. Alright, so that gets me to this. Leaf pickup. The city of Farmington has leaf pickup where you just rake your leaves to the street, they come along and they suck them up. Farmington Hills does not. Drives me crazy because I would love for that to be the case. So as far as the leaf pickup goes, Farmington wins that for sure because that's awesome. No more leaf bags. So if you take all that stuff into account, I'd say that actually Farmington kind of wins because you pay a little bit less for your house. You get downtown Farmington, you get the leaf pickup, big fan of that, I love that. You get the same library, you get a great police and fire department. But if you're looking for a bigger home, bigger, newer home, then you probably want to go with Farmington Hills. So what do you think? Is there something I missed? If there is, drop it in the comments below. Let me know. Maybe I'll include it in version 2 of this video, if I make a version 2. And if you're interested in any other cities or areas in Michigan, check out some of these other playlists and videos around here, and I'll see you there.